Hi everyone, welcome to International Card Making Day. So it's been a while, I know, but because it's been a while and I haven't seen you in such a long while, I have a lot of projects to do, but I won't do them all this during this live. I'm going to make a couple more, another French one and another English one. So I just made a French one and I'm trying to find my stamp set. I made it with the French version of Delicate Dahlias. And today, and right now, I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make a mini designer paper using this stamp set. I know that you can't get this anymore because it was part of the celebration, but a lot of you still have this and or are waiting for it because it was back ordered. So I want to show you how to make a couple of cards because we're making a mini designer paper that has enough paper to make two cards. And we're going to make them in a cherry color. And I'm going to show you the masking technique, how to do the masking technique with this. I just haven't decided what color I'm going to mask it with. I'm going to probably do it with a punchy color. So maybe you guys can give me comments on which color I should put in the background using the blending brushes. Okay, so I'm going to switch my camera and film my working surface. You can see what I am doing. So here we go. Whoops. Okay, just need to move this and put this like this. And you get to see how messed. I have a big mess on my table, on my working table. So just doing it like this. I want to make sure that my this is so we can see from down here to up there. Okay, so and we're going to be using these colors here. So I did make a card before. I did make the paper before, but I'm not going to use this technique, and I'll show you how I made this, what I made afterwards when I'm done with this. But we're using Flirty Flamingo. So here is what we're using. We're using crumb cake and we're using Flirty Flamingo. And as I said, we're going to be able to make two cards using the paper, the designer paper that we'll be creating. So we're using, and what I'm using is two card bases, and how I've cut them are 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4.25. And I have two of these. And I also cut some cardstock, which is 4 by 5.25. Both of them are, and the way I'm going to layer them is like this and like this. I also went ahead and I cut out some using the double oval punch. I've cut out the small in white and the bigger one in Flirty Flamingo. And now I'm looking at it and thinking, I should have had one that is crumb cake. So can I cut it out of that? Just because I wanted them to be the same, but that's okay. I also have here, so what I want to do I've cut this, and it is 5 by 7.5. And with this, I'll be able to cut it in half and have two pieces of designer or handmade designer series paper or designer paper that I can then put on my card. And the colors I will be using for my paper are Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, and Coastal Cabana. So I'm just going to put away these from my previous live, and I'm going to be using, this is a two-step stamp process. Say that 10 times fast. So it's two-step stamp process because it will stamp the outside, the outline, and it will also stamp the inside. So I am going to get my stamp set and I'll start with the outline. So I need a big block here. So this one, which I use all the time, which is, I think it's a 1 and it's almost square, not so much. I'll need the bigger one. This one I'm going to use for my bigger leaf, my little flower, I'm using a B block, and for my smallest leaf, I'm using the A block. This block is the D block, and the bigger block, and I find it works very well for this stamp, is the E block. Okay, so I'm going to leave this just here. I'm going to need it again because I'm going to have to stamp the insides. So the first thing we do is we start with our designer series paper, and we're going to start with the colors for the flowers. Now, I need to decide what am I going to use as the, so I'm going to stamp the Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to use the biggest stamp for the Flirty Flamingo, and that's not what I wanted to do. I want to stamp the outline in black for all of them. Okay, so I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to ink up my stamps like that. And I'm going to try to find the middle here, and I think the middle is right here, the darkest line here. So I'm going to stamp this one. I'm going to move these here so I don't stamp next to them. I'm going to stamp here, and I'm going to stamp another one here, because remember, I'm going to cut it in half, so I want to try to get the big piece of the biggest flower on each of the cards. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to use, maybe what I'm going to do is, okay, so why don't I do the biggest flowers first, because they are big, and once I put everything around, then I'm limited to where I want to put it. So I think I want to put it here. And I'm going to try to do sort of a mirror image like that. Yeah. Then I'm going to be using the flower, the smallest flower, and I'm going to put one there and try to do a mirror image there. I'm going to put one here, and here, and one here, and another one here. So I think that's enough for now, because I am going to use my blending brushes. So now I'm going to color the inside. So to color the inside, I'm going to use my colors, and I'm not going to use these stamps because I have stamps that are specific for the inside, and they are distinctive stamps, so they will give me kind of shading. I'll just put away these, and the biggest one, and I'm going to move over to the inside of the stamp, or the images, and oops, I have it in my hand. This. Okay, now I have them all there, and it's time to stamp the inside. So for the inside, I'm going to ink them up, and I'm going to try to line them up. So you need to, and they are supposed to be kind of sort of almost the image. So you try to notice something that's noticeable on your stamp here. So I have one that's kind of an X here, and then a skinny one that's there. And I found it here. So all I have to do is I have to line it up so that it goes right there. And the same here, I'm trying to find, okay, so I have it here in here, and it's right there. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. The same, oh, my overlapping goes here, I think. And here. That's it. Okay, so I'm low on battery, so let me just plug in my battery so I don't lose you guys, and just say, yes, I know that, close. And all I have to do are, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the small leaf. So let me get the small leaf from here, get a new block, a little mini block, and do it in black a little bit everywhere, right? So around these flowers, that, and here, here, there. I don't know. I'm trying to find where there's a bigger gap between the petals. Here and here, right there, and I'm done. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going. So now it's easier to align these, right? So I just align it over my image, over my contour stamped image right there. And I'll use the smaller one to fill in the smaller. So it is a distinctive, like I mentioned before, and distinctive means that you put the same amount of ink everywhere, and I don't know if you see, but there's darker images and lighter images, and that's the way the stamp is made. So it looks almost as if it's watercolor. Oops. So I'm going to watch where I put my fingers. I don't want some extra ink on this. Okay. So it's going to be tricky to use my my blending brushes because there's so much going on, right? So what you do if you're doing the masking technique, and I'm just going to put these away because I will need the other stamps to be able to do the masking technique, and I will put those on here. Okay, so going back to my stamp set, I'll put these away, and I will go back to the outline stamps. Put this here, and I will stamp on, oops, that's small. I will stamp, oops, where's the tiny one? Right there. And I'll be stamping on Post-it notes. But these are special Post-it notes. They are full adhesive Post-it notes. Well, kind of, sort of. There's only this here part doesn't have adhesive on it. And I hope this fits. Oh, it does. Yay. Okay. So the masking technique, and I'll put these away because I'm probably going to use Pool Party and Pool Party. Maybe I will use Melon Mambo. We used to, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll use Fresh Freesia. I wonder if that'll be nice. Or maybe another color altogether. Maybe a yellow. I don't know. Let's see what I have. I'm going to use So Saffron. I don't know what it's going to look like. I could even use Blushing Bride. Maybe I'll use these two as the background. Okay, and stay in the same colors, and maybe just a touch of So Saffron. So the masking technique is all about getting or blending or using your blending brushes and blending around. Now the thing is, I've stamped stuff, right? And I don't want to get this onto what I've stamped. So the masking technique is all about doing the images that you've already stamped on your paper, inking them up and stamping them on Post-it notes. And I'm going to try to get it at the top, the most at the top, because that's where my adhesive is. So I've got this guy that I'll put right there. And I've got the small flower. And I've got the two leaves. So I will stamp this guy, right? I will stamp this guy, the bigger leaf, right there. And I'll stamp the smaller leaf right there. Like that. Okay. Oh, that's the inside. Let me try it with the contour die, the contour image, which is on the other side. By mistake. Put this guy there, and I'll do that again. Doesn't matter. I still have space right there. Okay. So push this off to the side. Now, what I need to do is I need to cut all around this so that I can stick it on there so that when I blend, I won't get some on there. So I'll take my snips and I'm going to cut close to the line. I know that usually when I cut, I give it a little border, but in this case, we don't want to leave a border. We really want to come right next to the stamp, where it's stamped, because we want to try to get as close to the sides of the image as possible when we're blending. If we don't, then we'll have a harsh white line in between where the blending stopped and where the stamp image starts. So this could be a bit long, but it's really, really worth it because it really gives you a nice finished product. So this is the longest one because there's a lot of little leaves, but the other ones should go fairly easy. And because I've been away for so long, the next I will do 2 more lives, one in French and one in English, and I'll be using 2 other stamp sets, and one is a Christmas card, and one is a kind of like, not a happy travels, but kind of in all of the senses of happy travels, like maybe somebody who's graduating, like a adventure awaits you, or it could be somebody who's going on a trip. So yeah, so stay tuned for that because today is International Card Making Day. And apparently next Saturday is International Card Giving Day. So you don't want to miss that. So the cards you make today, make sure that by next Saturday, you've sent them to friends and family. Everybody loves to receive a card by the mail. It doesn't need to be for a birthday or for a special occasion. It could just be a thinking of you, right? I mean, everybody loves to receive a card. And even if it's just to say hello, it's just, I don't know, it warms your heart. It's just so cool. Remember, I received so many birthday cards in September that every time my husband went to get the mail in our mailbox, he would come back and say, "You've got more cards. I can't believe it." So I was pleased. I was really happy to receive all those cards. It was really, really a nice gift, you know, to see how many people cared, and a lot of them were handmade. So it was even, you know, more special. So thank you to everyone who sent me a card. And this is a little long, like I said, but it is so worth it. So I'm almost finished. I need to make sure that you don't want to leave white spots. So, and I love these sticky notes because they are totally all of it. Where I stamped anyways, it's sticky everywhere. So it's going to be able to cover properly my flower. And of course, I'm not cutting 2 and like 6 of the smaller flowers and all of the leaves. I'm just going to move them as I'm using my blending brushes and using the blending brush technique. I'll just be moving them, right? So as an example, I will put this, again, I need to find where it is. So here I have some that are crossed. Where are they supposed to be? They're crossed. Not there. There. Can you see how it fits? And all I have to do is put it over like that. Can you see that? And it's covering it all. So to be able to blend here, all I need is one of these. So why don't I cut that out? And I will be moving them around as I finish blending one area. So now it's just a small leaf, the larger leaf. And I love this stamp set because it isn't two-step process. If you prefer to color, then don't use the inside stamps to do the inside, right? Just you know, you know what? I think I'm going to try to get inside here, or else it's going to leave some white space. So yeah, like I said, if you like to color yourself using, I don't know, using wood wood pencils, I think is what you call them, wood pencils or watercolor pencils or blends, go right ahead. You don't need to use the two-step stamping process. But if you don't have much time and you just want to make a really quick card using a really beautiful flower, like I said, it is distinctive. It gives you the impression of a watercolor image when you do the two-step stamping process. Then use the inside too. But if you have lots of time and you prefer to color, then just do the outside like this here and just color it. So I'm almost done. And yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm really going inside because here I want to be able to blend this here. Because if I leave it, I'll be blended there and it'll be white there. It's not going to look natural. It's not going to look like I blended before I stamped. The other thing is you might be wondering is, well, why didn't you just blend before you stamp? Well, the thing is, if you blend, then there's a color out. There's a color on the base on your cardstock. So if I had blended first, there would be color on my cardstock, and it wouldn't. And when I would have stamped on it, the color would not have turned out the way it is. It would have taken into consideration that there's another color underneath, and it would have changed the color, right? So because I didn't want to muddy my colors, I did it this way. So here, see, all I'm doing is I'm positioning this over and I can start blending. I only have two more pieces, the smaller flower and the smaller leaf. So this shouldn't take too long, but it's really cool. And you can use these over and over. What I will do after is I will put these, I call them, they're kind of the opposite of stencils. I'm going to put them inside my case. I'm going to put them here. There is a plastic over here, so I'm going to put them here so that I can reuse them anytime I want. So here, I'm going to finish this up. And almost done. Yeah. So I'm not going into all the little nooks and crannies, but I'm thinking that it'll still look good. Just because I'm trying to save time and I'm probably going to save like 5 seconds. So it's probably not worth it for me to not go in my nooks and crannies, but there we go. Like this. Okay, so I've got a flower here, which I could just put, if I decide, where is it? Right there. Just put it over here. Like this, and just mask it like this. And now I just need the small little leaf. Just going to put this here, get this out of the way, take the excess off. It'll be easier for me to cut. And the smallest leaf should be done lickety split, just like that. Okay. Like that. Like I said, there's just an edge here. You can see where the glue ends. Just an edge where there is no adhesive. So you want to make sure that, especially this little stamp, if I had done it here, then I would have been in big trouble because then I would not have had adhesive on it. and it doesn't help me in my masking technique. It doesn't mask because it wouldn't stay on my card. So here's my smallest leaf that I can put right there. Push it out right there. And now I can start my masking technique. So maybe I'll start with my two lightest colors, and I think they are Pool Party and So Saffron. And I will start with my So Saffron because that's my yellow brush that I have here. And I want to start off my paper. Can you see that? Now, if I had this over here, I would have yellow on orange, which would have given me kind of a muddier orange. So here we go. Just going to do this much. I'm going to get my pink brush. It is my red brush, but when you wash it, it becomes pink. And just kind of go here. Do a little bit here. Like that. That. And maybe I want to start moving my mask around. Okay, I think I might be finished here with the yellow. And that doesn't need to be very dark. It can be very light also. So I'm going to go here and move my mask around, right? Because I want to get other pieces. So I want to use it here. Maybe I'll do here first, right there. Like that. And I don't think I'll get there. Maybe I will. Okay, and I'm going to use my blue here, my Pool Party. Get this. It's stuck on my fingers. Okay, so right there. And I'm going to get my blue blending brush, and I'm going to do it here, my Pool Party. Just want to get it here, trying not to get it here. So I'm going to move my finger there just in case. I really need to get it there. To do it well, I should have really done two of these and put one right there too. But because I don't have much time, or I don't want to keep you guys too long, I'm just going to work with what I have. So, like that. Okay. I have that. I can move it now. Going to move it here. Trying to find exactly where it should match, and then get my leaf and put it here. Like that. See, if the leaf was too big, I wouldn't be able to get into that white spot, and then I'd have a big white spot that just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm going to continue with my blue to get it here too. Get it in that white spot. Okay. Now I'm going to do it here. I think I want to do pink here too, so I'm going to move it. I'm done with this, I think. I'm just going to put a little bit more blue there. Oops. And move my leaf here. Like that. And here, the flower here. Right. This one goes like that. Okay. And these, I mean, these are Post-it notes. They last long. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of pink here too. Like that. That. Just trying to get it here also. Oops, I need to move it down if I move the mask as I'm doing it. Okay. Oops. Like that. Just trying to get it everywhere. Now I'm going to move it and go here. See, if I have too many, my lines are too distinct, then I just try to go over it a little. And this guy goes here, I think. I don't need to put the leaf because I don't think that I will be hitting it. Just want to get a little here, and I'm going to go back to the blue and do the other corner in blue. Like that. Oops. I can move that leaf. Where's the leaf? It's right here. Like that over here. Like that. There. Now I can move this one and move it over here. Like that. And the leaf is here. I'll move that here. Like that. That. And just continue with my blue here. Oops. Just got off. There we go. Now I'm ready to move this one here, down here, right? So it is a bit time consuming, but you'll notice that the final product is really nice. And I want to put the flower. I want to mask the big flower now. There we go. And need to find where it goes. I think it goes right like this. Oops. Maybe I will move it like this. That. So there's a lot of white spot here because I don't think that I pressed evenly when I did this. So, and I'm going to move this flower over here. So I really want to get those white spots that I have here. So that's why I didn't put it even with the image, because when I stamped, I didn't put it even with the image either. So I'm going to move back to my pink. So that is the Blushing Bride. And I will blend with the Blushing Bride. I'll blend on the bottom also with the Blushing Bride. And I'll finish with yellow on this side. So that. Okay, and now I'm moving to yellow to finish it all off over here. Like this. Maybe I can get some yellow over there, just here. So if I do it over here, it might turn a little bit orange with that Blushing Bride. And there we go. I think I'm done. Maybe I've got too much yellow here. Maybe I can add some yellow here just to balance it out. There we go. Just so that it is of the same intensity. Okay, so let me close this up, and I'm going to come back with my Melon Mambo and my Coastal Cabana, and I will use another technique with the blends. So with the blends, what I will do is I will pick up some ink with these little, just put this away. So I'll pick up some ink just on my small blocks here, like this, right there, and right there. Okay, so I've got Melon Mambo and Coastal Cabana, and just move these over here. And what I will do, see what happened here? There's a lot of white, so I'm going to go get my pink, or the leftover pink that I had. I'm just going to blend because I'm going to try to get some here. Okay, just trying to get so that the white is not so darn white. Okay, just trying to get there. And I'm just going to pick a little bit more up. That. Just come here so that it's not all so white. There we go. It's not that white. I'm going to take off my masks, and like I said, I will put them back in my here so that I can reuse them. And they are not directly on my stamps. They're on this little acetate, piece of acetate. And I need to be careful when I remove this because the petals can tear off. So I've got this guy, and 2, 3. I have a small leaf missing right there. Okay. Let me get my take your pick tool and just pick it off. There we go. So I can keep those for another day. Then I will come back. Let's try to dry that off. And I'm coming with my blender brushes, and I'm going to pick up some red with Melon Mambo, which is the pink. See how dark that is? And I'm going to use the top or the cover of my blending brush, and I'm just going to flick to get some color, just little dots, some splotches is what I call them, like that on there. Now I want to change my color. I want to use the Coastal Cabana, and to do so I need to get rid of all of my Melon Mambo on here. Okay, so I know that it's stained, but I still can get all of this off, and so that the colors don't mix and get muddied. There's a lot on there. Okay, next is I will clean the cover of my blending brush so that I can flick another color in there. So here's my other color. See, the pink is gone. Yeah, I know it's stained, but that's how it works. And then I just flick another strong color onto there to get just these little flickers. Maybe I should have used the other darker one to do this. I think that's what I'll do. So the other darker color is called Bermuda Bay, and that will show up a lot more than this guy. So I'm going to wash this off. I'm going to use my tissue to wipe this off and get Bermuda Bay in there. It is kind of sort of, see, they're the same color but in different intensities. So it's kind of an ocean color. So I still have some on, but that doesn't matter because it's more of a deeper version of what I just had there. So I will flick this on, and I think it's of the same intensity of Melon Mambo, so you see it more than the Coastal Cabana that we used. So there you go. Let me just bring that up so you can see better. So I use 2 techniques here. I use the masking technique, and I use, I don't know, the flicker technique. Is that what it's called? And I just want to clean my tip so that I can reuse it with any other color. So see, all cleaned up. And move these aside. Just want to clean them up because I don't want to make a mess with my new designer series paper, my personalized designer series paper. So, okay, so this is what it gives you. And can you see the little splotches there? Can you see those in Bermuda Bay and in Melon Mambo? Isn't that cool? So it just gives it a little bit more interest. Now I will move these aside, and why don't we assemble our card? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is going to be for 2 cards. And each of the cards, so it's 7.5 This is 7.5 by 5, and each of the cards will have a piece that is 3 3/4. So I will cut it at 3 3/4, and I have these two pieces to put on my cards. So I'll get my card bases here. So I have 2 card bases and 2 mats for these images. One will go on this guy and one will go on this guy. So I just want to wash my fingers quickly with a little baby wipe to make sure that I don't get dirty fingerprints on this. And I'll use my multi-purpose glue and glue these on each of these. So these pieces of card stock are 4 by 5 1/4, and the image, the designer series paper, each piece is 5 by 3 3/4. Like this. There we go. Ta-da. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to take these cards together. So this one, so this will go on this card base. And the way I like to put them together is if I have both cards there, I like that when I put them side by side, I can see the full designer series paper. So that's how I'm going to put them. So I folded my card base at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to glue this down. I could, if I wanted to, put it on dimensionals, but I will put the sentiment on dimensionals. So I didn't want it to be too high so that I could easily put it in the mail. And here it says sending heartfelt sympathy. So it gives me a sympathy card. We always need a couple of these. So I'm almost out of glue. I'll put this back upside down. Maybe I'll get a couple of more drops out of it. I'll use a new glue. There we go. So the sentiments, so this heartfelt sympathy, and the other one, which is, oops, can't get it, thank you kindly, are also part of this celebration stamp set that you could have gotten free, right? Up until the 30th of September. And like I said, I'm sure some of you have this one because it's so beautiful. So I will put, so this one's glued down. I need to glue this one down. And this guy right there. Okay, like that. And this will be thank you kindly, heartfelt sympathies right there, and thank you kindly right there. So I will put those up on dimensionals here. There, like this. And as I said, I use the 2 oval punch for this. I want to get it straight. And dimensionals on this one also. And I don't want to hide any flowers, so I will move it over here. There we go. And these are the 2 flowers, the 2 cards that I made with the designer series paper, the homemade designer series paper. I also made some in, I did make one previously with this, these colors, which are again the Blushing Bride and the Mint Macaron. And I just want to show you the other one that goes with it. So I made a French one and an English one. So these go together. And during my previous French live, I made this one. I didn't use the masking technique, but I did use the flicker technique. And here we go, like that. So if you want to make cards quickly, then try to stamp 2 cards at the same time using this technique. I really like it. So thanks for being here, and I will likely make another live either today or tomorrow, and I'll show you. I would be playing with the Sweet Farewell. Really cute card, really easy to make. I think you're going to enjoy it. So thanks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.